certainly being a girl won't hold. It
Yeah.
won't hold at all.
Yeah.
Yes,
You
yes,
said
yes.
pretty girl privilege outside the window.
Because that stereotype that surveyors lie or surveyors determine who gets
Who
what.
gets, yeah. They're the piper.
Yeah.
They determine the tunes and you will dance to those tunes.
I get it.
That's a lot.
So you have
2016.
tough questions.
2016.
You're going straight into the pocket.
Welcome on everybody. How are you doing? It's your girl Sue Senge, the girl with the golden voice, but you can call me the girl with the plan. Welcome to another exciting episode of Beans and Banter. So we've been having a lot of interesting conversations. I remember, I don't know if it's 3 weeks ago, we met the Mogoda guys like in Amco Properties, the guys who sell property and they sell land. And so today I am seated with a lady in a very interesting, I'd want to call it an interesting career path, because majority of the times these things you hear people in geosurveys and geospatial things and you're like, hey, I'm just a baby, I'm a girl. But anyway, welcome. I hope we are going to have such an interesting conversation. I'm at the HQ of Geosurveys and Geospatial, and I'm seated with Miss McKenna.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm good.
Please introduce yourself and give us a proper intro. Unajua naendanga kuwa naanza kusema unajua ule ni nani. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for this, Bowen. Thank you for your time. Thank you for having us here.
Yeah.
My name is Makena Moturia. I am the managing director at Geosurveys and Geospatial Information Limited. I am a geospatial engineer by training and also an environmental lawyer in my master's. And I will tell you, it's interesting being a lady in this space, and more so the challenges, the day to day, the gender bias, the proving yourself, of course, and doing it all together, because we just don't prove ourselves, but we get it done.
Yeah.
So yes, I'm happy to be here, and it's gonna be, you will find quite a lot about this industry.
Yeah.
Yes,
There's the
yes.
thing you've mentioned about gender shaming and all these things where someone will say, you are a woman in this industry, we're not going to give you business. But people say we get some things easy.
Yes.
Have you been able to get something, someone says, oh, she's just a girl, let's give her business?
Well, let me tell you for sure, geospatial engineering is one of the technical fields, just like telecommunication, mechanical, anything engineering, of course, sounds or is and actually is very technical.
Yeah.
There's nothing about just being a girl.
Yeah.
All right? Nothing comes your way because you're just a girl. You have to work hard. You have to show results. Technical fields, you either have it or don't have it. You either know how to execute it or don't know how to execute it. There's no written script. It is know-how. It is planning, especially when handling projects, implementing, and delivering results. We delight in seeing a lot of projects that we have done in terms of surveying and mapping, and also GIS, Geographic Information Systems, that is data collection and visualization and analytics, and web integration. A lot of other things come to fruition, and without showing the results, the fruits of the entire project or the deliverables coming to being, then certainly being a girl won't hold.
Yeah.
It won't hold at all.
Yeah.
Yes,
You
yes,
said
yes.
pretty girl privilege outside the window.
Because no one wants to work with someone. It's like you're building a house and then you get a contractor and they veer away from your design and give you underscored work, poor flooring, poor lighting, poor everything. You wouldn't really call back that contractor again. In fact, you'd look for someone else to re-execute their work.
Yeah.
So same thing with geospatial engineering. It's your results. You were to do this subdivision. execute from planning, move to approval by the county government, because it's also a regulated field, move to approvals by the Director of Surveys of Kenya, and then have registration of titles done and hand over the owner. So there's nothing you can cheat on, less of results of the expected outcome. And so being a girl can only be an added advantage, because overall women, we are good at execution, good at leadership, both technically and non-technically. And the truth is, girls do it better, but you have to do it. That's the primary.
You have to do it.
You have to do it.
Before you started doing it,
Yes.
I want to believe that before you get into, and this is generally entrepreneurship,
Yes.
before you get into something, you have to do your due diligence. You have to look at the market and compare what is there, what is not there, what is the market gap that you saw, and you said, this one, I'm going to do it and
Yes.
kill it
Yes.
and get some business going.
Yes. So first and foremost, as McKenna, or maybe I can take you back right from my early years, having been brought up in the village in Meru, Tigania East, and I am very proud to be coming from the hills. I have been a very, let me say, sort of outgoing young lady, not in a very loud way, but in a manner that I commit to action, I commit to execution, I commit to academia, first and foremost. Growing up, I committed to execution from very, very early years. And so all the way I knew I wanted to be an engineer. That's all I knew about my career path. And so fast forward now, I find myself in JQuat to study geomatics engineering and geospatial information limited. And right then, if most people associate JQuat with what they call quote unquote Juju boys back then, because it was a school of agriculture and technology, and most of the admissions were in the School of Engineering, which would have all the Faculty of Engineering had telecommunication, mechatronics, mechanics, BS, whatever, civil, everything else. So we find ourselves there. Of course, the gender ratio was women were or ladies were fewer in this Faculty of Engineering, and out of a class of 26, we were only 4 ladies. All right, and so that's one of the things that now made me wake up and understand. I'm really the engineering dream I have. Is also not a very common dream to the ladies back then. That is unlike now. Of course, right now I know things have changed. I'm in the millennial. We have more Gen Zs being admitted to all these STEM courses. Back then it was, and then we were going in through the joint admissions, whereby the public universities were cut for the top performers. So of course the admission chances of women in STEM were also fewer. Okay, so yes, I found myself in a class with only 4 ladies, and the challenge just picked up now. And then remember, I am coming from a point of being ready to action, being very resilient naturally. So fast forward, I found my way around in the profession because I am ready to action. I am resilient, so I'm ready to take the challenges. I'm ready to endure the hot weather out there when executing fieldwork, the tough working environment. I am ready to speak up in the negotiations, in the boardrooms where the men are seated. And I am ready to also speak to the clients that we are handling for either when I was interning and working at other firms, or even now when I am at GGL. So that confidence and the pursuit of also excellence and the confidence, and also I will really edge on the confidence and the resilience, knowing that you're ready to show up and you can show up, and being strong at it, not giving up no matter the circumstances. So that is what made this girl be ready to do it. I realized there was a gender gap, but on the flip side, that I was ready to step up and show the women that we can do this. And yes, I have carried that resilience and that confidence until now.
And in terms of the positioning of the brand and the business generally, what was the strategy to make sure that you penetrate through the markets that you're in right now, and maybe even more that you want to get into?
Exactly. Good question, because sometimes when you ask of strategy, and I'll tell you as a founder, now when you go it out in running a consultancy firm, it's totally different from when you're running a retail business. So a consultancy firm first must believe in quality and delivery. And thus, before I even thought of a consultancy firm, I've told you I thought of the why. And my why was simple: to prove that the ladies in geospatial can perform. So it's coming from a point of confidence and from a point of resilience. And then fast forward now, you find yourself now starting out, and the normal aspects of branding a firm must come into play, positioning, speaking up. And so you realize that first and foremost, in terms of brand positioning, before you even think of the logo, you have to know your why. So for me, my why was to actually impact careers and to prove that, yes, we can do this. It was more of a professional niche that was there in the industry than a hobby. Or it's more of a professional niche, because this is a professional training. The next thing is my positioning started with the people I knew. I didn't start on social media. I didn't start on.
Was there
with a
social media
website.
then? How long? This is like
This is just 2016 though.
yeah, almost 10 years, a
Yes,
decade.
yes,
That's a long time.
yes. 9 years. 2016, 2017. We didn't start with social media for sure. Social media was there, but then the quality of my phone was not very good also. So you know, right
Did
now
you have
it's
money
very
to buy an iPhone? Since someone here.
And then, you know, why I'm looking at him, because even now, this real thing, this instant photos, stories thing is not my kind of. Actually, I've had to embrace it, because now I'm seeing we're in an era where I'm hearing the Gen Z say we must make noise. So, and then
Everything
I
is
choose to make noise
digital.
about the brand, you
Yeah,
know?
you can't make noise when you're not on TikTok, and that's where people are making noise.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, but it's something we're finding ourselves now adapting to. I'm a millennial and an older one per se. So it's something I have to adapt to.
Yeah.
Back then, there was no social media. So I positioned myself amidst my friends. And that's why, fast forward, those who know me well, they know I value friendships. They know I also value relationships that are, let's say, work-related relationships in that case, or professional engagements. I value building and friendships and relationships that are not just social, that have authenticity, that have commitment, that have people that speak up and stand up for each other. So I positioned myself amidst my friends. I remember the first client we got was from a friend. Okay. And this client was actually someone who was very high ranking back then in society, and they had good work. And then they were coming to us through their lawyers. And remember, this is you are our number one. And at that moment, we never even had an office, just to speak up. It was home office. It was McKenna alone. Okay. And then you have instructions to do amalgamations and change of user for very high ranking, referred to you by a friend. So I had to prove myself. That's where, again, proving yourself, putting in the work. That's what I mean by proving yourself. You put in the work, you perform, you give the results. And since then, we became their preferred surveyor for this client until now. 9 years later, they're in the farm. If they have any subdivision works, if they have any due diligence work for their properties, if they have any GIS and mapping work, they come back here. So to answer your question is that brand position first starts with the people within you, the people around you. Before you even speak to the entire world, can you speak to the people that know you? Do they know you as a person of excellence? Do they know you as a person of consistency? Do they know you? And that goes into your work. You know, the basic virtues that we say: patience, consistency, show up, comes out in your work. Because if you can do that to your friends, then you can do that in your work, and your friends will be happy with your work.
Yeah. What you're saying to me sounds like indeed your network is your net
It
worth.
is. It is.
Yeah.
It is.
So what has been the impact of maybe partnerships? Because if your friends are referring you to businesses maybe who need your services, then what is the impact of partnerships and networking?
So the impact of partnerships and networking has been major. As we speak now, just to give an overview of business growth, we moved from not even referrals of business to international partners in terms of collaborating on services and collaborating on technology. For example, we found that the if you can, and I'm sorry, let me just make reference to the Bible. It says, if you can take care of the small things, then you will be trusted with bigger
Bigger,
things.
yes.
So the character in you shows right from your friends. My referral started with my friends, and then we moved now into professional networks and professional conferencing. For example, where now you find that when you ask me about partnerships, we have international partnerships and local partnerships with both geospatial related partners and actual partners in terms of execution of work or services they need from us. So we escalated from friends. We went into now individual companies as clientele. Then we went into corporates, big corporates that we have served, including government and non-governmental. And then we went into now international collaborations. We have partners that support us in different aspects of our industrial technology, like remote sensing, like GIS in terms of software and hardware. And we also have clients who make inquiries from our partners internationally. That means we are able to serve clients through our partners in countries like India in need of satellite imagery, in countries like UK, in London, UK, in need of satellite imagery. So ideally, we have grown. We have do I say now gone beyond the regional or the local presence
Yes.
to having partners internationally. And again, to answer you, when you look at now the impact of partnerships, then it is beyond now giving you a local
Yeah.
presence.
Yeah.
Partnerships can give you an international presence, number one. Number two, partnerships give you consistency of clientele because as much as this is a consultancy firm, at the end of the day, a consultancy firm, a retail firm, a health firm, whatever services you're rendering, what narrows down is, are you able to sustain operations first for you to sustain that kind of consultancy or clientele or firm? And number two, are you making an impact? So for the impact to be felt, when you at Juja, when we make impact in careers, when we have internship programs for status and see them nurture skill sets, when we see our projects come to fruition in terms of development, in terms of decision making, like in GIS, in terms of data analytics, we feel happy. And for us, that impact also is what has sustained a lot of our partnerships and networks because trust you me, nobody wants to work with people who cannot deliver. And number two, people who are not authentic. And number three, consultancy firms that are not efficient.
Yes.
All right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Something about authenticity, and it has taken me somewhere. Watu wa huko Western Kenya wanapenda sana I have a piece of land, you come to me and you buy and you buy and you buy, but the how good I'll speak to the surveyor determines how big of like property or land I'll get
yes,
based on
yes.
what I give them, and so it's given surveyors such a stereotype
Yes,
of how they are liars. They have conflict of interest.
Yes.
You give them small kidogo money here, they'll
Eh.
give you they'll give you things they'll give you property
Yes.
that even if you're going to resell or maybe you stay with it for some time, even when you're selling, it's excess.
I get
How
you.
do you make sure there is integrity as you run the consultancy?
Okay, so I like that. That's focusing on the land and surveying department.
Yes.
And if you would allow me to clarify something at Geosurveys and Geospatial Information Limited, we actually have 4 departments. We have the Land and Engineering Survey Department, we have the Urban Planning Department, we have the GIS Department, and we have the Environmental Services Department. So on the Land and Engineering Survey, there is that stereotype that surveyors lie, or surveyors determine who gets
Who
what.
gets, yeah. They're the piper.
Yeah.
They determine the tunes and you will dance to those tunes.
I get it, I
Yeah.
get it. But the truth is, we uphold a lot of professional ethics and integrity. First and foremost, we are supposed to be, in terms of community impact and in terms of governance and in terms of um, land titling, as that is the case, the role of a surveyor is to actually represent the correct position of location, of boundaries, without interference. And that's why you learn under the Survey Act, we only have 2 surveyors recognized. That is a government surveyor, one under the Directorate of Survey of Kenya, or a licensed surveyor who is a private surveyor. And we fall in the second category of licensed surveyor who is a private surveyor. And you are mandated to represent the Directorate of Surveys, especially in terms of boundary determination, rightfully, as mapped. And if it is a new mapping, then as agreed upon by the property owners, because they must give you access to their property. If it is dispute, you must listen, and even in the presence locally of the land registrar, who again represents the Department of the Ministry of Lands in regard to titling, to resolve it and ensure all parties have agreed. So the point at which a surveyor is doing contrary to what is mapped and registered, or to what is inclusive of all parties in terms of fairness and and equity, then that is not ethical. Okay, so those cases, have existed, but I would like to say that they are non-ethical. That's what I would say from where I stand, and it is a practice we do not nurture, because the one thing that has kept some of our clients with us is that when there is a problem of that boundary, we report back. And in cases where there have been property purchases and maybe we need both parties to agree on the boundary, and we are representing our client who is, let's say, a purchaser, like we had one in Thika, and partially we had a riparian boundary that had shifted, and now we have boundaries shift naturally. Like when a river shifts, you'll find maybe if it was the boundary of this property, then one area is affected, bigger or smaller than it was at the initial aspect of registration. Then we align all parties to follow maybe the data map, that is the first map of the surveyed property. We are also open to seeking amendments, because the surveyor can always resurvey property and as the ground seats, and have a very detailed surveyor's report to the Director of Surveys that prompts amendments of the boundary if need be.
Yes.
And yeah, there's a process, but lying to the client, or lying on the ground, on to people, or maybe during adjudication, maybe taking some land and allocating it to yourself as a surveyor.
That one's also big.
We are familiar with those. We have heard about those incidences, but for me, they are not professionally acceptable, and they are non-ethical. And we actually report those matters for disciplinary. I am not the prefect though, but I am saying it is not right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's talk some business and some money here.
Yeah.
Because someone would say, if I am going to work in this industry, how am I making my money? Right?
Yes.
There's also the bit of investment and risk.
Yes.
And then there's also ROI for the people who are giving you business. So let's start with, how are we making money here at Geosurveys? Yeah.
Okay. So Geosurveys, first and foremost, remember we have told you this started as a professional niche.
Yeah.
All right? Of course, at the end of the day, money is in question. Now, How we are making money, that's a very tough question. But I would say we focus first on how we are making out the deliverable, the impact, the opportunity. Okay, let me start with the opportunity first. We focus on the opportunities that exist for our services. And as I've told you, we have 4 departments. We have urban planning, we have land and engineering survey, we have GIS. Actually, we have 6. We have environmental services, and we have the remote sensing, that is satellite imagery data. So the remote sensing is one of our youngest data service that we are offering, and we're also selling it as a service because it can be used across other urban planners, it can be used across environmentalists, across geospatial engineers to derive maybe base maps, to derive DEMs, to do urban planning works, depending on the context. So we focus on the opportunity because we already have the skill sets and the expertise. And now these opportunities range from government sector. We have a lot of government contracts. They also go into what we call professional services. That is the law firms. You've just met my friend here. We have architects. We have civil engineers who need our services. etc. And then we also have another segment of international non-governmental organizations that are doing a lot of work to make impacts in sectors like energy, in sectors like agriculture, in sectors like infrastructure, power, water, transport, whatever it is. And then we have the private sector. We have individuals who are landowners, individuals who are developers, individuals who are maybe families that just want to do the succession plans, etc. So first, it starts with the opportunity, and that's how our client segmentation looks like. And then when we have that opportunity now, we focus on delivery. So we make money, if I would answer you, by delivering.
Yes.
If we do not deliver the end result of that scope, if the end result is a spatial plan, we have to deliver it. If the end result is land use and local land use plan, we have to deliver it. If it's a sectional title for developers doing mixed use, we have to deliver it. If it is master plan, that is a mixed use plan for an individual or private developer, we have to deliver it. If it is a GIS system for a non-government organization or a government organization that is giving them maybe a project management solution or an asset management solution, we have to deliver it. So ideally here we make the money is tied to the deliverable.
So what's ROI for the people who are giving you business? Maybe this is an SME.
So the return on investment
Yes.
for our clientele is actually the output. For example, you told me you are a developer in Kilimani, and we have you have sold your apartments to potential buyers in the market, and they want ownership because when you sell as a developer, you have to guarantee ownership.
Yes.
Okay,
That's true.
Now we are discussing a case of a residential block in Kilimani, a block of let's say 100 units.
Yeah.
You have sold to Sue, you've sold to Kevin, you've sold to everybody. What guarantees Sue ownership? Either a long-term lease as guided by the Land Registration Act or a sectional property title. So when you come to us, for you to be able to give Sue ownership of either the long-term lease or the sectional property lease, you have to come to a surveyor to georeference those floor plans. So when you come to us, you are expecting that there's a deliverable that you will get from the work or the instructions you give us. And when we georeference those sectional plans, then you can either go to the advocate to prepare the long-term leases, or you can still entrust us with the process of registering the sectional titles for you. And so that deliverable is the return on investment because you have paid for it. And that return on investment is a return on investment because it enables you to go and finalize the sale agreement with Sue for that apartment. Otherwise, Sue will be just owning a structure, temporarily occupying a structure,
Yeah.
that she doesn't own.
And then some things come up,
Occupying
it becomes legal.
it becomes a legal tussle. So that is the ROI that this developer is able to guarantee ownership to sue through our services of, let's say, sectional property titling. That is one case. Another case can be in case of GIS services. You have come to us and you want us to help you maybe do socioeconomic mapping as an urban planner who is doing some planning. You want us to help you do socioeconomic mapping. That is, go to the grassroots and collect data and that pertains health facilities, that pertains social issues, schools, hospitals, community areas, recreational grounds. And besides collecting that data, because we deal with location, we will visualize that data to that particular location, the XY of the data, and now enable you make an informed decision. For example, when you're making your recommendations, does this place need more health facilities? Does it need more schools? Do we, in regard to the population coming up, do we need more play areas for the young people?
Children, yeah.
Good, So that is the value add. That data that has been analyzed. That means it is able to guarantee you informed decisions as an urban planner or as a decision maker, a manager of some place, or maybe like in counties, spatial plan guarantee resource allocation management for governors and the council of governance. And that's why you find, for example, spatial planning in counties is anchored in the constitution. So when you come to us, we guarantee you that value with either the data sets or the titling or the land use plans, depending on what department of our services we are serving you from. But your ROI is guaranteed by the deliverable, and that deliverable we ensure is meeting your needs. For example, the case I've given you, the developer is able to close in and guarantee ownership to sue. And we also ensure post that if there are any amendments, if there are any changes, we're there to support you and to work with you again and again. And that's why we have also a dedicated client acquisition department that enables strong customer relationship management. So if you come to us, you're guaranteed of an ROI in any of our service areas, and you're also guaranteed of a consistent engagement. We don't just let you go. We want you to stay.
You want to retain the clients.
We want to retain
lest
the
you
clients. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. We don't want to lose the clients. Yes.
There's something you have mentioned, and I want us to speak about kidogo, because you're speaking about the impact of making sure that when you're getting this data, you're investing. So then that means that, you see the thing they say about not planning is planning to fail.
Yes.
So not investing in data is planning to fail, right?
Exactly.
So in terms of mapping and urban planning, have you been able to be involved with maybe you've said counties is such a big thing.
Yes.
Maybe Nairobi. There's some things you see. The other day I was just talking with one of my friends who was saying, you've been to Ole Sereni.
Yes.
And at the rooftop, you can see the way it's so beautiful. You wonder, the guys who come up with such things, are they normal people like us? Do they have like 48 hours in one day?
Exactly.
How are their brains really wired? So maybe what has been some of your projects that you've said, this one, I took part of this as the brand, and it turned out so well, and it's of benefit to not you, but to
other
people. Yes.
Yeah. So thank you very much. We have had good, impactful projects. I don't even know where to start because I'm also keen on confidentiality of clients.
Yes.
But yes, we have, for example, let me start right in the coast. Taita Taveta County, in a place called Mwatate. First, what interests me about that place is Mwatate is now the county headquarters of Taita Taveta County, and they have a municipality with municipalities are jurisdicted as potential towns or towns within counties. They are administrative units, and we have a master plan or a mixed land use plan that we handled from let's say bottom up,
Yeah.
from the primary stages, from the inception stage, as we call it technically, right to the deliverable, to the final stage. This deliver in Motate, and the mixtures plan was ranging to 3,000 acres. Right,
That's a
so
lot.
exactly. Now, when you're at the Olesereni rooftop, I'm taking you back.
Yeah.
Same case when you're on the Savo East periphery. Assuming there's an Olesereni in the Savo Park, you would have a clear view of our area of study, or what I would call area of the planning area that we handle, the mixed use planning area of 3,000 acres. Now, a mixed use plans allocate different land uses. It's like a tattoo city concept, just for relational purposes. It has industrial use, and for this case, we allocated light industrial because we were looking at minimal heavy manufacturing. So light industry is like food processing, bakeries are light industries. We're also looking at cottage industries, the value adds of ornaments and everything. And then we allocated also high density residential. High density residential can be single dwelling or multi dwelling. Like Buruburu was a bit of high density residential, but single dwelling, that means you're not going up another floor. But Kilimani is also high density multi dwelling. We also allocated what we call medium density. So it's like now those gated communities of individual houses in half acre plots. And then we have low density, which is more of the a current kind of lifestyle of 1 acre and above of residential units. And then we allocated commercial. Every community that exists must have a shopping area.
Yes.
You cannot just live, and that's why you're saying they're spiraling now, right, left, and center. In places like Lavington, Kilimani, Karen, you find a mini mall has started. Those are commercial uses. We are located agriculture. We are dealing with 3,000 acres. So for those who want to do smart agriculture, or those who want to do grain, the modern agriculture, there is room even for let's say floriculture, horticulture, that is greenhouse farming, everything that can be contained within that context. We also allocated what we call recreational facilities. People must walk, take walks, sit in a park, a small green area, and feel and feel their pulse. They need time to retreat, they need time to step back. And recreational spaces also include sports facilities, play areas for kids in a young community, or in a community with young families, and also for the Gen Z generation, for their football clubs. I mean, people must retreat, unwind, and bond, right? We also have now the infrastructure. Every community thrives with power, lighting, roads, water, sewerage, and all
Amenities,
that, all
basically.
those amenities and utilities. So that's one of our projects. Another project was within the county government of Kilifi, where we executed the integrated urban strategic development plan of the Kilifi municipality. That is another project that has actually been approved. Now, within the planning process of, especially in IUSDPs or local land use development plans, they must go through there's a legal process under the Physical and Land Use Planning Act, and also the Urban Areas and Cities Act. At the end result of this is there's midway there's a lot of stakeholder engagements. That is, you must sit within, especially this was within the Kilifi municipality. So you must sit with the residents, the focus groups discussions, the key informant interviews, and get the input. What do you want to see within this municipality? Do you want to see more? Do we need to allocate sporting or recreational facilities because maybe tourism activities are on the high? Do you need an integrated conferencing facility that is owned by the government or private? Do you need more residential units? Maybe a bit of the people within this town are struggling with finding accommodation and work and everything. Do you need more industrial parks? Etc. So you have to have high level stakeholder engagement that goes through stages, and then the end result is that your final plan, integrated urban plan, has to go to the county assembly for ratification, and we go to that stage, and it is then gazetted and then adopted by the CCM. So that's one key project. The other key project we are handling is the county spatial plan. We are doing a very big county spatial plan for Kakamega County. It has been one of the Kakamega County is a big county. Those who know it well, it's actually the biggest rural county.
Really?
I think so, yes, if I'm not wrong.
I don't
For
know why I was
purposes of the
thinking is
interview,
those
it's a
guys were
disclaimer.
Bungoma.
No,
I thought it was those sides of Bungoma.
It is. It must be Kakamega County. It's one of the biggest rural counties. And if you're doing a spatial plan, it means you are traversing hundreds and hundreds of kilometers across the county to put all needs together. Of course, of everybody in the community.
Yeah,
So
and they don't feel like you're taking their land or you are taking away anything from them.
Yes,
Yeah.
remember here you're planning to actually give them better livelihoods, enable better decision making within their county governance. You are the planning process, the urban planning process is very political, but it gives more to the community, because then the community resources and other facilities become more impactful through informed decision making. The land use also becomes more impactful. So we traverse the entire county. We are not yet done with our project, but we are now at the draft plan. Something that's making impact to communities, making impact to the governance within the county and out of the county. And yeah, it's good. And that's why I told you, as a professional niche, we look at the careers you impact, the people you impact, the other sectors that you also impact through your engagements.
Yeah.
So it is how we actually measure success. When the project is successful, then we have seen the deliverable make impact, whether it was the property ownership to sue, whether it is the resource allocation management with the counties, whether it is the effective land use plans within the respective area, or the development plans like in Taita, Taveta County, developers' money will go into direct use and into impactful use.
Yeah.
Yes, so those are some of the projects. In the private sector, maybe I can give, or I would not really give, because it's more of a
Confidential.
individual.
Yeah, you can't go speaking of clients.
Yes, I wouldn't be speaking about Sue as my client.
Sue told me,
So-
and they said, I don't know if you've seen that meme where you tell your friend not to say, you tell them a secret. You tell them don't tell anyone.
Yes.
Immediately you are done. You leave
Yes,
the room.
goes
The cameras are
everywhere.
on. Now breaking news. Yeah, the clients won't appreciate that,
Yes,
but we
they
still
don't.
want to retain business, which is
Exactly.
something that is important. I want you to speak about how you're able to stay afloat. Especially 9 years is a lot.
Hey, so you have
2016.
tough questions.
26
You're going straight into the pocket.
Because it's important, because I feel like someone would be really motivated for such a story, because
Yeah.
2016 we had a different government.
Yes.
I want to believe, much as the matters of litigations and laws, they are almost like the same, but there's a bit of changes here and there. Even if it's not in the in the matters geospatial and the land and properties and all these things, it can be also operating in Kenya as a business.
Yes.
And then 4 years later, getting into COVID. This is 2020.
Yeah.
Now we're in 2025.
Yes.
A new government,
Yeah.
new policies.
Everything
Post-COVID, you're still
new social
here.
health systems.
Exactly.
New taxes.
That one, taxation. How have you been
get
able
it.
to stay here, and what has been almost like your secret,
Yeah.
your best kept secret?
So thank you. So that's a very let me say high level question.
Yeah.
Because at a personal level, I have a very personal secret, and my personal secret is that before me is first God. Okay, I believe everything the Bible says. The word has been with us for a long time, and the word is God actually. So I have a very, not very, I wouldn't say extremely deep understanding, but correlation of life to the word. I believe life is very spiritual.
It is.
When we are told that all things work out for you good, trust you me, they do. Even the rejection, even the bounced contract in business, even the rejection from a client now, the closed doors. And God, the same that when some doors close, they close for a good reason. And at the same time, when some doors open, no one can shut. If the opportunity is for you, nobody, trust you me, nobody will come against you and that very opportunity. So that's one of my my spiritual grounding. Makes me understand the actual business operation and environment and context. And when things have gone haywire all round, I ask myself, of course, I've gotten to that level where sometimes I even ask God, what's gonna happen? And God is like, all things are working out for your good.
Yeah, for
you
the
know?
good of those ones that
Trust in him.
Yeah.
And so I trust in him, and I'm like, yes, I'm no exception. And some other days, of course, faith without action is dead. So the moment I remember they're working out for my good, and I remember that he renews the strength, then that wait on him renew the strength. Then I just know I am being renewed. I just need to keep moving.
You dust
to
your
put the
wings,
action.
'cause you're not-
Yes, I wake up more energized and rest myself and keep going. So that's one thing I'll tell everybody, that you need to believe in a higher being than yourself for you to stay resilient. Because the next thing that happens after now you believe in the higher self, you renew your strength, you renew your mindset, you keep going, because you know something behind the scenes is working out for you and for your good, and his grace is upon you every time. And then now that said, now you move into action. Now the other, that is number 2, resilience. You move into action having a higher belief, remember? And then now keep now moving into action, keep going, keep knocking, keep asking, keep discussing, networking, taking up opportunities with Sue, like
Yes.
yes, keep going, and being innovative at it, because we are also in an era that has brought a lot of technological revolution. In fact, most people are saying in the next, by 2026, there will be live sales. We are moving now from saying the content on retail on sales to live. We're going live on a sale. We're going live, and it's already started. Live concerts and all these things. Technology is bringing many closer to us. So as your special industry, and more so me being a millennial and having also a workforce that's highly Gen Z and millennial, how do we stay Geo ICT ready? We now embrace partnerships with we embrace technologies and partnerships with service providers of our technologies. We have welcomed on board, for example, the S3 East Africa, because we realized for us to offer better GIS services, we need to go to high level softwares that even have a bit of data privacy or proprietary, and so data is safer for our clients, and like the open source softwares. So we embrace partnerships. We also embrace new opportunities. We are now taking high level joint ventures with other firms that we couldn't do alone, or maybe that needs us to incorporate them for it to be successful. You also be open to sharing the cake. You can't just have it alone every time.
Big
That's
enough
not
to
growth
for all of us.
Yes, it gets to a level where you've said we are 9 years in, and my biggest query as a CEO is, we are breaking to the next level, to a decade. And to keep going, it means you have to break new barriers. And some of those barriers are, if you are used into doing it alone, now embrace partnership. In the organization, embrace empowering your staff to make decisions, embrace giving them the leeway to opportunity. Like when I kept asking, is someone joining me?
Yeah.
Because I'd be happy when
Yeah.
the opportunity is presented to everybody across board, and the representation feels all good for DGL, so that the day there are people show up in the same shoes and wear the same shoes that you can.
Yeah.
So I think more God and more resilience. The rest on continuous improvement is as a result of resilience. Trust you me, if you're lazy about yourself, you will not improve.
Yeah, I feel like you're saying social media manager akikosa kupost alafu anasema today I'm praying that the angels will post for me.
You
pray, but you also do the work.
You must have the action. Yes, and that action now is highly sustained by resilience, knowing that even if you say no to me today, another opportunity will come tomorrow, and I will try again, and it will be a yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gen Z anakupelekaje?
Gen Z, Gen Z, unajua, for millennials, I saw this meme. We wait to be ready. Gen Z is on a post too. Because so you see, and that's one thing we were wondering, and I was asking myself, how do Gen Zs maintain excellence? I'm not accusing, but for us, we overthink it.
Yeah.
For them, it's very easy.
Yeah.
It's very easy, and we are finding ourselves trying to adapt to what's easy and what's
sometimes
thought about.
it's the thing I was telling you when we were starting. Sometimes it's good to plan when you can, but those random ones was in a slap. Nadanganya. It's true.
Sasa hiyo ndio bado sijaadapt. Napenda kuambiwa sana
Yeah, but I hope you're warming up when he tells you to pose for a photo or you do a TikTok.
TikTok bado sijaingia lakini by the way.
Alafu muendelee kumwambia sawa. So maybe as we wrap up, you can talk to us. Maybe I wanted you to speak about smart cities in maybe a few words and what you're doing and your footing there, and then finally we can wrap up with you being part of Chamber. So speak about smart cities, and then we.
Wow. You wouldn't want me to invite Brian?
Yeah, time is gone.
Okay. Smart cities. So, what we have, the integration in terms of urban planning is we are trying first to ensure that there is, in terms of utility planning, because for me, I see smart cities only become smart when the planning is done right. If the planning is not done right, then we have no smart city. We still have the same old
analog almost.
City, yes. And for cities to become smart, for me, I am looking at smart cities being an aspect of sustainable cities.
Yeah.
What do I mean by sustainable cities? Sustainable cities is whereby we have for example, high eco friendliness in terms of water usage, in terms of power, stroke energy, in terms of active lifestyles. If a city is smart, yet we have no room for pedestrian walkways, we have no room for cycling or and all that, then we're not really being smart. We're being sedentary, Yes. So we have in our planning works, for example, the city we did in Taita, Mwatate sub-county, we ensured, for example, when doing utilities and infrastructure, we gave the necessary provisions for carryways, that is the main road area, and then we gave provision for drainages, so that you can't be a smart city if you have not embraced, for example, drainage systems that are functional, that allow for water recycling. Because remember, you're being smart for me is eco. So you're able to accommodate water collection and recycling and reuse within that city. We also gave provision for pedestrian walkways, so for and to encourage active, and then smart lighting. For example, if we're doing street lighting, can we have now energy saving measures like solar street lights that are not dependent on high that do not bring high cost eventually. So we have accommodated smart in a manner that is eco-friendly and in a manner that is also encouraging active lifestyles, and we have also encouraged a lot of green spaces. Okay. I like this Kenya Green Building Society that does a lot of campaign on edge certifications for buildings. How are we making buildings to be smart if, for example, you are still not having smart lighting in terms of, which is energy saving, smart utilities in terms of fridges and microwaves and every other thing for their house, internal electronics, then green spaces. We have been used to brick and mortar, and it's smart means I can, it is sustainable. I can find my calm at it without really feeling pressurized within that environment. So if we are not giving enough recreational spaces, for me that's not smart.
That's not
because
smart.
yeah. We're not
Shukisha.
taking care of the human mental health one, and also the dynamics of we are social beings. We need to sit and retreat and discuss.
Yeah. Finally, maybe you're part of the Kenya National Chamber of Commerce.
Yes.
How long have you been part of the chamber, and maybe what has been some of the benefits that you've gotten being part of such a big networking chamber that has a lot of businesses, and almost everyone is there.
Yes,
Everyone who
yes,
really is serious about business.
So thank you we are now 1 year in. We joined chamber this year, and I would say it's been being a technical services firm that is just fashion engineering, surveying and mapping, GIS, urban planning. It's not the normal retail and market linkages kind of environment within the chamber. But we thank God because we have had a very good support system, and more so, quote unquote, Diana DT has been she's been very, as a membership coordinator, she's been very kind to us. She's been very challenging us to actually take up, inviting us to a lot of industrial events that relate to especially the developers or the real estate industry, because that's where we sit most, and even the environmental industry, and more so even this opportunity with Urban TV. So we have experienced support, we have experienced connections within the chamber with other industry players, and I would say, because I have been here, as you said, for 9 years, that and I've told you our first brand positioning was through a friend, that the networking and relationship is a very good way of actually do I say gauging success. And at the chamber we are already experiencing that, and I would say also we have some more to go, and we are ready and keen on keeping at it, because it's not a one-day affair. The trust where you will build with the referral you give me takes an aspect of time, of me delivering, of me showing character in terms of keeping my word, in terms of professional behavior, in terms of execution. So far so good, and we look forward to a more growing and nurturing support from the chamber, and we appreciate the progress thus far.
That's it. We are done. There's so much we could continue on and on and on. Lakini director ameshinda akiniambia time's up.
So you would give my guy Brian a chance again to introduce himself.
Brian can come and tell us what is really outstanding for him to work here, and also why should people
Let him say.
Yeah.
Then you'll put it in our comment section.
Okay.
I prepared him.
Before I wrap up the show and say thank you so much for watching. Yeah, and by the way, thank you so much for accepting our invite and for us to be to just come here at your offices.
No, we are happy, and
Yeah.
it's actually a good experience. In fact, now I talked to our Gen Z here,
Yeah.
ensure a corada, because we can do other sessions even beyond chamber in terms of I don't know what's your profile like, but I'll be happy and interested.
Yeah,
Yes.
once we say the director says cut, we'll see, we can have a chat about that.
Brian,
Brother
you have
Bernard,
an
tembea haraka
opportunity here.
ukuje.
Ambassador.
So my name is Brian Mwenda. I'm an urban planner. So I majorly like to introduce myself as someone who plans for spaces and controls those plans in spaces.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to think of, because we've spoken about how you can go to a place and you see, hey, in Nairobi, but it looks so good and all these plannings.
Yes.
But at the point of starting and now, there's been a lot of digital transformation.
Yeah, true.
What has been that impact of digital transformation, AI, machine learning in your industry as we speak?
Digital transformation it's now the big deal in the market. So you'll find you're dealing with smart cities. So smart cities incorporate a lot of aspects. So you find you're incorporating AI, you're incorporating machine learning, you're incorporating automation, you're incorporating a smart transport, smart infrastructure, and all that. We call it smart energy. So smart energy and smart infrastructure, we call all that smart energy, smart infrastructure. So in the modern era you're living in, technology is the big deal. And AI started way long before. So AI started in the 1953 era. Started as artificial intelligence, where computers could sort of reason like human beings. So went on to 1980, where machine learning came. So data became the big deal. So data is now the new oil. If people are looking for oil is in data.
Yeah.
And then we fast forward around 2010, we have now deep learning. So computers are use neural networks to behave like human beings. And now we are in the age of Gen AI.
Yeah, Gen AI.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you basically, it's generative AI. Yeah. So you generate content, videos, and so on and so forth. ChatGPT, for example.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If someone came here and they say, I did not go to school to do all these engineering things, but I'm a graduate of ChatGPT, would you give them a job in urban planning?
First of all, that's I will not give them a job.
Why?
You must first of all follow the process of urban planning. You must go to the planning school, either at University of Nairobi, Maseno, or any took, to have that credential. It gives you the capability to practice planning. Yeah.
Maybe finally, based on how you've been studying industry trends and patterns, what is actually the loophole for the next big opportunities in this industry compared to what has been there and what is coming?
So the loophole is credible, verifiable data. So as I've said, data is the new oil. And as an organization, we invest in credible data. So the loophole is, if you're not really sort of having credible, verifiable data, garbage in, garbage out. AI will give you garbage if you give it garbage, and give you credible information if you give it credible information. So the loophole is in credible, verifiable data.
So umesema nisiende ChatGPT kuambia, so I am planning this, I need to create a small Kansas City in my father's.
No, usifanye hivyo.
I just come here.
We have a state of the art technology, partnered with industry leads to give you credible data.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. At this point, director ako karibu kunishautia kuja niambie madam ameenda nyumbani. Thank you so much for watching. Brian, thank you so much for being part of the show. And to you who's watching, I hope you've learned a thing or two. I'm going to be seeing you next week on Monday, same place, same time. This is Biz and Banter, and my name is Sue Senge. Until next time. Adios.